Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out on such a beautiful, beautiful day. And it is a beautiful day because we are going to be giving out $40,000 this morning, and that is a fun thing for us to do. My name is Pat Murray. I'm President and CEO of Bristol County Savings Bank, but today I'm wearing my Bristol County Savings Charitable Foundation hat. And as I mentioned, we'll be announcing to a number of recipients today that we're giving out $40,000. But before I do that, I would like to introduce someone that has been a partner to Bristol County Savings Bank as we adventure down here into the great city of New Bedford. Since the mayor was elected, couple of years ago, over 2 years ago now. I bet it does at times, and believe me, president, it seems very long. I think you beat me into office by a few months. I've been president of the bank now for just over 2 years, but it's been a great partnership and very welcoming that the city has given Bristol County Savings Bank. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Mayor Jon Mitchell. Mayor, thank you.
Well, these Pat, are the events that I know you're wearing your charitable foundation. I think it's more appropriately called your Santa Claus hat today. This is, but it's a great role, and it really speaks to the seriousness with which Bristol County Savings Bank approaches its corporate responsibilities. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. You guys are an exemplary corporate citizen. You really do stand behind your word that community banking is about community first, and in that way, you're really the bank is really part of a great tradition of community banking in the United States. And as we look back over the last few years, and particularly the financial crisis in 2008, and the responsibility of much larger financial institutions, it's so refreshing that community banks, here led by Bristol County Savings Bank, have reasserted themselves in the life of American cities. We continue to trust local banks because you guys do it better than anybody. You hire locally, your folks bring their kids to school just like everybody else. They go to the same restaurants. They bump into everyone else at the grocery store. You're immersed in the life of the community, and in that way, you can really stand behind your word in ways that other banks and financial institutions can't. So, and I really, this is really an occasion to celebrate the generosity of the bank, and especially under your leadership, Pat. There's so many others to thank. The board of many here, Paul Hamill, G. McCormick, so many others in the room, Joe Nauman. Thank you for your stewardship. Thank you for really living up to the ideal of community banking. It really does make a difference in the community. The awards today will go a long way, I know, because I know every one of these organizations. They will go a long way in improving the lives of folks across our city in every walk of life. And we're very grateful for your stepping up and making that meaningful contribution. Keep it up. I think you recognize, and it has been a great partnership, and you recognize New Bedford is a city on the move. We've got a lot of great things going on. We're really building toward the future. And you're riding that wave not only as a business, but also as a community pillar. And we thank you for all that support, Pat. Thanks. Thank you.
Maybe just a little bit about the bank. Believe it or not, we've been around since 1846 when we were founded up in Taunton. Back in 1996, a couple of things happened. We ventured out. We ventured all the way out to the great city of Attleboro, which is only like 10 miles away. Huge venture for us. But we also did in 1996, we set up our charitable foundation, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But that move to Attleboro was huge for Bristol County Savings Bank. We put up an office that is much like this in Attleboro. We hired some people from the Attleboro area to maintain that office, and within a year or two, people in Attleboro thought that was our main office, and our branch manager there was the president of the bank. And that is perfect, because that's exactly what we want to do as a community bank. This is our main office of New Bedford. And as you know, we've got two other offices here in the city, one on Acushnet Avenue and one down on Rockdale. And as far as I'm concerned, Nancy Wood, where are you, Nancy, is the president of the bank. So, so this is President Nancy Wood. Her office is right here, so please come in and see her anytime you want. I do want a few introductions as well this morning, and these are the people that really make the decisions. You know, we sit up in downtown Taunton, where our main office is, and we did not want to make decisions as to where our charitable gifts should be made in the South Coast, and specifically here in New Bedford. So we reached out to a number of people that live and work right here in the South Coast area to be part of our, what we call it, the South Coast Advisory Group or board, to help make decisions. Actually, not to help, they do make the decisions. We don't get any vote. So these are the people that you should really be thanking this morning, because of all of the applications that came in for these grants today. You won. You did a great job. But these are the people that make the decisions. And they're the South Coast Advisory Board is actually chaired by Chancellor Jean McCormick, Dr. McCormick. And I just gave Jean about a 15-minute heads up that she's wrapping up this presentation this morning. So some nice prepared thoughts in the next few minutes, Jean. But also on our board down here today, Joe Norman. And Joe's in the back of the room. Others on that board that could not be here today, Maureen Sylvia Armstrong, Jerry Coogan, Corrine Santos, Richard LaFrance, and Jim Karam. So you can see we've got a pretty good representation of the South Coast area that actually make the decisions. With us this morning also is the treasurer of the foundation, Dennis Leahy, guy that you want to get to know. There's Dennis right there, because he signs all the checks. And the clerk of our foundation that is really responsible for all the back room, making sure the applications get out on time, that they come in, that we get to review them, is Michelle Roberts. But the two people that really make it work are the two women that are right here this morning, and that's Kathy Mulhern and Michelle Faria. So I mentioned back in 1996 we set up the Charitable Foundation. Why 1996? Because the bank turned 150 years old that year, and we threw ourselves a big birthday party, and we gave the community a gift by setting up the foundation. The bank contributed $1 million to the foundation in that particular year, and that first year we gave out $50,000. Over the years, the bank has contributed another $12 million to the foundation, and we just went over the $13 million mark that we've actually given back to the community, including nearly $2.5 million to the South Coast area in just the last 10 years that we've been here. So we're very proud of it, but we're more thankful, and we're thankful for you, for what you do for this community, making it a better place to live and work for all of us. So thank you for that. The way this works, a little bit different than we normally do this morning. We're not going to have big checks. So what we're going to do is call you up individually. You'll have a chance to talk a little bit about what your organization does and how this money might help you with your mission. We will not be doing individual pictures today, but we're going to ask for one big group picture at the end. And we'd ask that one representative from each agency come up at the end to have a group picture done. If you would like individual pictures, we've got our professional photographer here in the back, Bob Bartlett. I'll give you a little heads up. Laugh at his jokes. Because if he doesn't, he has Photoshop. He might be missing a tooth, or your hair might be spiked or something. But so with that, our first recipient this morning is Artworks, Partners for the Arts and Community, receiving $5,000. And with us this morning is Executive Director Noelle Foy. Welcome.
I'd like to begin by extending my deep appreciation to Bristol County Savings. And on behalf of all of us, I know that we are so appreciative of your efforts to support what we do here in the community. The grant was given originally to Artworks, but we've had some exciting news for our organization since that first application went in. We are now New Bedford Art Museum Artworks. In January, we merged the two organizations, and we brought all of our programming to the new organization. And that includes the program for which Bristol supports, and that's our Early Learning Studio. It's a unique kind of program that goes out into the community, working with low-income housing developments, and we began our program at Temple Landing. They meet in the community center on a weekday morning, and it's designed for age 0 to 3. And they come with a family caretaker. That's part of how the program works. And we have an early childhood educator who has degrees both in early childhood and in art education. And she works with the kids doing kind of preschool things, but reading to them and modeling for the parents and the caretakers how to read with their kids and introduce literature into their lives. And then they do an art activity that relates to it so that they have that hands-on experience that reinforces the reading. Okay. That reinforces the reading for the kids. And all of the art activities are something that can be carried out at home with materials that are readily available in the house. So the kids get the learning experience, they get the literacy experience, and we add field trips for the families. We rent the bus, and we put them on it, and we take them to the library, to the zoo, to the Ocean Explorium, to places in the community that a lot of these families have no knowledge of and are afraid to go to. So that's how the money that Bristol gives us benefits our community. Thank you.
Please make sure you get your check today, because I have a habit when Kathy hands them to me to put them in my coat pocket, and I've gone home with them before, so please make sure you get them. Also with us this morning is Caritas Communities, also receiving $2,500 this morning. With us is Director of Project Management, Tom Nee. Welcome, Tom.
Good morning. Thank you all for having us and selecting us as a recipient for the Bristol County Charitable Foundation. I appreciate all your support, and we certainly do. Caritas Communities is a nonprofit affordable housing company, and we have approximately 950 plus rooms across Greater Boston and now down in the South Shore and the South Coast area, serving low-income working people and veterans, single individuals that need housing desperately. And we're certainly, without the support of our communities and our banks, we certainly wouldn't be able to provide what we are today. Today, with the assistance of South Shore, Bristol County Bank, we're able to move forward and provide some handicapped accessible door entry units into our building in New Bedford that houses 19 veterans in low-cost housing that's affordable, furnished units. And we are thrilled to be here today, and thank you very much, all of you, for having us. Thank you.
We actually have 7 groups that are getting donations this morning. The next one is Horizons for Homeless Children, also receiving $2,500. And with us is Programs Coordinator Audrey Brown. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I'm from Horizons for Homeless Children, and I work for the Place-Based Department. So what we do is partner up with local homeless shelters to build playrooms, which look kind of like little preschool classrooms, and we stock them with toys, games, puzzles, arts and crafts supplies, and then we recruit volunteers from this area to come in for 2 hours a week, same day and same time, and just play with the children living in the shelters. Becoming homeless can be a really stressful and traumatic experience for these kids, so this allows them the opportunity to play and grow and have healthy social interactions with not only adults, but the children living there as well. So some of my friends at Harbor House in New Bedford, which is one of our programs, got word of this and created some thank you cards for you. So this is their thank you.
Thank you. Look at that.
Yes. much for you as well. So on behalf of Horizons and the children, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Give you that.
Thank you very much.
The next recipient is a group that we've been involved with for a very long time, and it's one that's very near and dear to our heart. And receiving $10,000 this morning is the Nativity Preparatory School. With us this morning is Director of Alumni Support, Suzanne Phillips, a board member, Jocelina Pyers, and more importantly, and I'm very, very impressed that he's actually here on school vacation, is one of the students, Devon. Welcome.
You and I are a little shorter. Good morning, and thank you very much to the foundation for this wonderful privilege of being given this money. Nativity is a small, privately funded school for young men from low-income households. Our school is completely supported by private foundations and private individuals. We don't receive any public aid whatsoever. So every bit of money we get is very, very important. The amount we're getting today will support one of our teachers. We have 8 teachers at the school. All our teachers are AmeriCorps teachers. They're all basically volunteers. They come and give 1 or 2 years of their life. They get room, board, health insurance, and I believe it's up to $450 a month. They work 70 hours a week and all summer long, year-round. So these young people really believe in what's going on at Nativity, and it's paying off. I follow the young men after they leave Nativity through high school. I just came back from a trip, a 2-day trip, where I brought snacks up to our boy at Deerfield Academy, one at Northfield Mount Herman, another one at the Middlesex School, all on scholarships that they earned because of their academic performance. And I used to be at Greater New Bedford Oak Tech as a guidance counselor, which I loved, and I just love every aspect of this job because we are changing the lives of young men, and it's absolutely incredible. And with your money today, you're also helping in that change. And I'm going to introduce you our student body president here, who's like saying, "You're really going to make me do this, right?" Devon Pius, and he's going to tell you what Nativity means to him.
Hello. Well, what Nativity means to me is not like a school, it's more of a home. That's a place where I can grow and expand my mind and what I know, and that's just going to help me move on from life. And when I get older, I'll remember everything that Nativity has given me. So I thank the Nativity people and all of you for being here. Thank you.
Where are we going to school next year?
St. Andrews in Barrington, Rhode Island, off of a scholarship.
Speaking, he did better than I do. You want to do the rest of this? No? I just asked him if he wanted to do the rest of this. I think he does a better job than I do. Another organization that has been near and dear to our heart for a few years now, and that's the New Bedford Festival Theater. This morning they were receiving $5,000. And we've got a whole bunch of people here today, so maybe they'll act out something for us while we're here. But with us is executive producer Armin Marchand, board chair Dr. Gail Berman-Martin, artistic director George Charbonneau, one of the corporate committee members, Joyce LeBlanc, and another corporate committee member, and the lead in this year's Sound of Music. So we actually have Captain Von Trapp here with us this morning, otherwise known as Bobby Sylvia. Welcome.
Good morning. We're very pleased at this point in time to receive this very generous support from the Bristol County Savings Bank. It's hard to put into words how much of an impact that makes. I always think that when you look at any one thing or one activity, it looks as if you're really seeing the tip of the iceberg, and that is very true of what we do. When you come to see the show, I would say to you, well, I'm glad you're here. I welcome you to the performance, and that is extremely important because that's part of our mission statement, is to bring the best of Broadway to the South Coast region, and we've been doing that now. We are having an anniversary. This is our 25th season this summer. In the process, we have produced 35 major Broadway musicals, 2 or 3 of which have won New England recognition as the show of the year. The most recent one of those was Hairspray in 2012. But that is the tip of the iceberg, because we also have programming that includes various educational initiatives in the field of the performing arts. And that is so extremely important. It's important for the audience to partake of a great show in the middle of the summer in the air-conditioned splendor of the Zeiterion Performing Arts Center. And it's great for the audience and their spirit, but it's also wonderful to note that this year, some of the monies that are coming forth, including all the generosity of the Bristol County Savings Bank, is helping to support our program that we call the Festival Theater Summer Academy. And that, believe it or not, because of the show we're doing, we are doing The Sound of Music. It's the first time we've ever repeated a show, but this is a celebratory year, and that's why we are doing it. In this particular summer, the Summer Academy will be bringing in young people from the age of 5 to 21. That seems kind of like a long stretch, but it's true, because all 7 of the Von Trapp children in the show will be part of the Summer Academy, as well as, I would say, approximately 20 apprentices who will be working backstage, and another 5 interns that will be of college age that will be working on various aspects of production. Most of you would probably find taking a tour backstage would be as entertaining and as enlightening as watching the actual show. So what you're doing today by your generosity is you're endorsing that. I don't know how far we could go with this programming without your generosity. So again, the New Bedford Festival Theater would like to thank the Bristol County Savings Bank for their generosity, and we want you to know that the money will be well spent. Thank you.
I mentioned back in 1996, the foundation gave out $50,000 in its first year of existence. This year, we are projecting to give out nearly $1.5 million in this year alone. So a number of you have been recipients over the year, including this next organization, which we've been involved with for several years now, and that's the Schwartz Center for Children, receiving $12,500 this morning. With us is CEO Mary Hodgson, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Paul Hamill, and the Marketing and Development Manager, Beatrice Oliveira. Welcome.
On behalf of the Schwartz Center for Children, I'm going to let the boss talk a little bit after I'm through. On behalf of the Board of Directors, on behalf of the administration, on behalf of the children that are entrusted to our care, we are really appreciative of the continuing support and generosity of this foundation and the bank. I can mention that, right? Okay, all right. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Mary to talk a little bit about the programs and services that we deliver to the greater New Bedford and expanding community.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you again to the foundation for your ongoing support. We serve about 1,300 children a year through various programs. This grant that we have today is related to one of our specific programs, which it's a federally mandated program. Each state has catchment areas, and we have a catchment area in the South Coast. It serves children from birth to 3 years old as well, and it provides basically a foundation for learning and literacy for children that either have established disabilities or are at risk for developing disabilities. Children can live under constant stress when their brain is developing, and they will sort of present as if they have a disability. But in fact, what's happening is their brain the pathways are not forming in the right way due to the stress that they're under. So this program, we go out to the household. Last year, we provided 26,000 hours of service to 650 children. It's educational and therapy-based services. What the grant is going to do is provide us with tablets, Microsoft Surface tablets. We're going to buy 25 of those, and what it will allow us to do is access software that will enhance both our education and therapy services, as well as make the administration a little bit better, because people are out in the households. They could be in Westport early in the day and Wareham the end of the day, and not needing to come into the office to get access to various tools is really important, and will allow us to serve a lot more children. So thank you so much for your support.
Our next organization is a first-time recipient of the Foundation's contributions, and I got to talk with both Jim and Martin a little bit this morning, so welcome. And they are the Southeastern Massachusetts Veterans Housing Program, receiving $2,500 this morning. With us is Executive Director Jim Reed and CFO Martin LaHoo. Welcome, gentlemen.
Well, I'd like to thank the, better known as the Veterans Transition House. That's our formal name, but yeah, the Veterans Transition House has been around. It's going on our 15th year now, and we thank the Foundation for selecting us this year. The Vets Transition House helps out veterans and has been for veterans that find themselves homeless for whatever reason. And we help them find dignity back in their lives, get them connected back with their families, and get them back on the road to recovery. This money is going to go towards 3 houses that we are rehabilitating, and there's going to be sprinkler systems. It's very important that we want to put sprinkler systems. That's one of our goals as an organization in every building that we have that house veterans. It's very important that we think that we do that. Also safety systems and things of that nature. So it's going to be a big help. It is part of a grant that we received from the Veterans Administration, and that will go towards a lengthy way for us. So we appreciate it again. Massachusetts, I've came here. I'm originally from Rhode Island, Pawtucket. We were talking a little bit, and well, I'm very impressed with Massachusetts when I started getting into this business here with helping veterans, being a veteran myself. That Massachusetts is a leader in taking care of veterans. And not only Massachusetts as a state, but the South Coast. Everybody here, I think, knows a veteran or is a veteran or helps a veteran somehow, some way. And that is very heartfelt for me, because it's very important work. And that and with Caritas over there helping us out with North Street and 19 units of housing for those guys over there, very important that we house our vets. Massachusetts and you know, the VA, if you're not aware of it or not, is wanting to end veteran homelessness by 2015. They're pretty much on track, pretty close. There's always going to be something where you're going to have a transitional house here and there that's going to help out. So we're very excited about the future for veterans, and that's taking care of them. And we appreciate the, again, the thought that veterans are important to you. Thanks.
So what do you think? Do you think the South Coast Advisory Board made some great decisions? Yes. I would like to personally thank the two members of the board that are here today. Once again, Jean McCormick and Joe Norman, thank you for being with us this morning. Great decisions. At this point, I would like to introduce Dr. Jean McCormick, the chairperson of the South Coast Advisory Board, who is not only a member of the board of directors of the board, but a member of the board of directors of the bank, and has become not only a good friend, but a coach and mentor for me personally as well. So, Dr. Jean McCormick.
Well, you know, I thought I had a great job when I was the chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, helping it to grow into a dynamic institution in research, teaching, and service. And the part I probably loved the most was embedding the university in the community. So when I retired, I always say to people, I don't miss all the responsibility, I just miss the people and the opportunity to do good things. So I was blessed to be invited to be a director of Bristol County Savings Bank because they are truly great people. And they've given us the opportunity through the South Coast Advisory Board to make good things happen. And that's to partner with all of you. So we start with the 0 to 3-year-olds and then remember the veterans who've served our country so well. I mean, it's hard because we get more and more proposals. And I know many of the people, and they're all good things, so you should feel like you were the best of the best, and we want to encourage you to keep doing that, because I know the Bristol County Savings Bank will continue to see the community as their stockholders, the people that they feel when they're successful they give back to. So I consider it a great blessing, and I know Joe does too, to have the opportunity. It's nice to not ask for money, but to give it out. So thank you, Pat.
I would encourage anybody that would like to have an individual picture done to please come up. You can see the big checks are here. They are behind me. Mayor Mitchell, thank you once again for not only your partnership, but being here with us again this morning. But most of all, thank you to all of you once again for the very, very good things that you're doing for our community. Thanks again. Please enjoy. We got refreshments here. Please stay and mingle.